Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi shrah sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi zidni ilma. Now, how is everyone, children? Hope that you all are well, enjoying your learning, enjoying computer science, isn't it? Okay, today we are here to solve one more scenario-based question. This is of May-June 2023, paper 2-1. And I hope that we all remember that the paper is of 75 marks and 15 marks in this, excuse me, the scenario-based questions of 15 marks. So how will you score? Actually, you need to remember that we have to identify in our question the requirements that are there and what are the requirements basically. You can see, if you are able to identify the proper instruction that are needed here, then you will be scoring out of 9 for AO2, 9 out of 9. And what is it? Is your pseudocode needing any sort of selection? Is your pseudocode needing any sort of iteration? If iteration, which is the most appropriate iteration statement out of the three, like we have learned, for to next, while do and while, repeat until. So which one is the most appropriate iteration statement to be used? If talking about selection, whether the use of if is needed in your program or whether the use of case will be more appropriate. If your program is needing any sort of counting technique or totaling technique, and if you have any inputs and outputs, have you written the right statements along with taking care that are they written in the right positions or not? So if you have paid attention to these all details, the proper selection statement, the proper iteration, the proper counting and totaling being handled, the right syntaxes, and the right way of handling the input and output, definitely you are eligible for some decent marks. You can see here, all criteria stated for the scenario has been covered by the use of appropriate programming techniques, referring to the list of techniques. So these are the techniques that we have to refer to. I think that's very much clear. This is making sense. Fine. Second thing is, you have paid attention to the right data structures. And data structures means that have you used the right variables, the right arrays, and in case you are using program, like not pseudocode, but you're using some programming language, then Python lists. So if you have paid attention to these details also, the variables as required, they are used, the arrays as required are being declared and used appropriately, then definitely you are going to score 9 out of 9. Okay? Just telling you beforehand before we proceed to the next thing. Any questions? No, that's wonderful. Now let's move on to the next assessment objective, that is assessment objective 3. And this objective is of, like, definitely is of 6 marks. And how can you score? Again, very simple. This is 6 marks. Fine, maximum 6. If your pseudocode has been fully commented, very important is you have used the proper commenting structures, whether you are writing pseudocode or you are writing the program, that have you used the proper commenting. You have used suitable identifiers with names meaningful. Very important thing is you are using identifiers with meaningful names, not like ABC, etc., etc. They should have meaningful names, and you have used them throughout your whole program. Okay. The most important thing is you can see for yourself, all the data structures have meaningful names. The program is in a logical order. Most important thing is you have written everything. Like, definitely remember one thing: input, processing, and output. So you should be following the proper logical order. So definitely you are going to score decent marks. Solution is accurate. Importance is accuracy of the solution. And it's performing all the requirements, all the details in a sequence. It's giving you the desired results. Like, minor mistakes in your syntax will be ignored, but not major ones. Fine. The solution meets all the requirements given in the question. Now, one important thing is whichever requirements are given in your question, you have identified them properly and you have written the right answer. In this manner, you can, inshallah, be able to score 6 out of 6. Okay, any questions? Again, I'm repeating, reiterating once again. Paper is of 1 hour 45 minutes. We suggest you that you finish your like questions from 1 till this scenario based in maximum 1 hour, so that the rest of the 45 minutes are for doing the scenario based in a peaceful manner, understanding what the requirements are, and only then, inshallah, you'll be able to do the whole thing properly. Okay, any questions? Now we are done with how can you score marks, division of your time, and now it's the question. A 1D array days contains the names of the days of the week. Now you can see, now again for your help, I have made the structure also for you to comprehend. A 1D array is by the name days, as you can see here. And this this days array is going to store the names of the days of the week. A 2D array, readings, another 2D array is by the name readings, is used. Now you can see it's a 2D array, fine. A 2D array means using any location you need 2 subscript numbers, fine. And it is used to store 24 temperature readings taken once an hour. By the way, yes, very rightly quoted, Ali. Isn't something similar to what we have been doing quite often, isn't it? We have been doing the practice of these questions, isn't it? So again, temperature reading being taken repeatedly for 24 hours or 24 readings being taken. So you can see, and this is taken for each of the 7 days of the week. Means starting from day 1 till day 7, every single day, we have to take 24 readings like every hour. Hour at, for example, 00, then 1 at 1 a.m., then 2 a.m., then 3 a.m. In this manner, till the time 11 p.m., we have to take all the readings one by one. So it makes sense. It's a 2D array, which is storing the readings as well as the rows are containing the days of the week, and you can see 24 readings being stored. Any issues? Now, array number 1 is your 1D array days. Array number 2 is your readings array. And here you can see it's basically 24 readings taken over a period of 7 days. Clear? Now, another 1D array is mentioned, and that 1D array is by the name average temp. You can see. And this average temp is used to store the average temperature for each day of the week. Like weekday, maybe it's Wednesday, for example, or maybe it's any day. So what will happen is it will take all the readings, and once the readings are being taken, then it will take the average temperature for that particular day, like maybe average temperature for Sunday or Monday or whichever day, and this will hold the average temperature for that particular day of the week. Any issues? Okay, now just for the simplicity, they have given an example. The position of any day's data is the same in all the arrays. For example, if Wednesday is in index 4 of days, Wednesday's temperature readings are in index 4 of readings, and Wednesday's average temperature is in the index 4 of average temp. It means Wednesday here, Wednesday here, Wednesday here. Any issues? Like just an example is given to you. Could be any, fine. Any day. Just an example is given so that you can comprehend that this is going to be the same throughout. It has to be the same, fine? Okay. The temperature readings are in Celsius. Again, important thing. To 1 decimal place. Very important thing. It's 1 dB. Okay, 1 decimal place. And this reading is in Celsius. And what are we supposed to do is temperatures can only be from -20 degree to +50 inclusive. Now, this is your range. So you can see here, just for the purpose of simplicity, it's written here that the temperature readings are supposed to be from -20 degrees centigrade to +50 degrees centigrade inclusive. Write a program that meets the following requirements. But by the way, any questions till now? We have understood that we have 3 arrays. 1D array by the name days. Second is the array, 2D array by the name readings, and another 1D array to store the average temperature. And then we have been told that the readings are taken in Celsius, and we are given the formula also later so that we can convert the Celsius value to the Fahrenheit value. Celsius is in 1 decimal place to 1 decimal places, and the readings have a range that you cannot go below -20 or above +50, right? And inclusive, definitely inclusive. Write a program that meets the following requirements. And what are the requirements? Requirement number 1, input and validate the hourly temperature for 1 week. It means what? As soon as input is taken, the moment we have taken in the input, we are going to validate. Most important thing is validation. And validation means here we have to refer to this check, fine? The temperature readings are supposed to be validated as soon as they're input. Calculate and store. Now, important thing is store the average temperature for each day of the week. What we have to do is we have to calculate and store the average temperature for each day of the week. Like once we have taken the readings for all the 24 hours, we are going to immediately calculate the average temperature, and we have to store it in the respective location. Remember, fine? So that is why it is saying calculate and store the average temperature for each day of the week. Calculate the average temperature for the whole week. Now, once the week is over, then you have to calculate the average temperature for the week also. Like maybe if it's like maybe a particular day, or maybe too hot or too cold. And on the contrary, the average temperature for the week may be a little bit different. So what are we supposed to do is, once the week is over, then the average temperature for the whole week is supposed to be calculated as well. Yes, exactly. There's no, by the way, do we need an array for the average temperature for the week also? Yes, not exactly. Okay, now that's wonderful, Emma, that you are able to recall that something similar to this one we have done in the class, except for we have used a simple program. We didn't use an array there at that time. That's very great, wonderful. I'm really very happy. Convert all the average temperatures from now. Convert all the average temperatures. Now remember, this is very important that you have to see you have to convert the average temperatures from degree centigrade to degree Fahrenheit. And the formula is given to us, which is written here. Output the average temperature in Celsius and in Fahrenheit for each day. Like day 1, day 2, day 3. So whatever the average temperatures which are already stored in the average temp array will be displayed. And definitely, by the way, average temp is holding which temperature? Is it degree centigrade or is it degree Fahrenheit? Exactly, that is degree centigrade. And we have to convert each temperature from Celsius to Fahrenheit, and they want us to output both the temperatures in Celsius as well as in Fahrenheit. Output all the overall average temperature in Celsius and in Fahrenheit for the whole week. So it means that whatever we have done for this, that will be calculated. That will be calculated after, like, from degree centigrade to degree Fahrenheit. And we have to display, output the overall average temperature also. Any issues? Any problem? Okay. None? Understood clearly the requirements? Wonderful. You must use pseudocode or program code and add comments to explain how your program works, how your code works. Very important thing is they have mentioned, they have reminded you that you have to use comments whenever they are needed. And like definitely not too much, neither too much, nor too less. They have to be in moderation. You do not need to declare any arrays, please. Variables or constants, you may assume that this has already been done for you. Fine. Maybe we may ignore it. All inputs and outputs must contain suitable messages. All data output must be rounded to 1 decimal place. Now, this is very, very important that we have to remember that we have to, all data output must be rounded to 1 decimal place. You will need to initialize and populate the array days at the start of the program. Now, this is very important that we have to populate. Clear? Any issues? Any issues with this one? Okay, that's wonderful. Any questions, any queries before we proceed to the next part? And by the way, you can see the playlist is being mentioned here for your benefit. So if you really want, you can watch the videos that are available here in the paper 2 playlist for your own benefit. And you can share it with your friends also, with your with your other learners also, that they all are going to benefit from it. Okay. Okay, now, since we have understood the requirement, now we have moved on to understanding that which data structures are being required, which we have already discussed. You can see for yourself that whichever are the basic thing that is supposed to be there, like for arrays and lists, we can see the arrays are days and readings and average temp. The variables that are being used are weekday temp, total day temp, total week temp, whichever we have required, we have used in our whole program. Requirements are: requirement 1, input and store hourly temperatures and validation of input temperatures for each day, definitely with prompts. Very important thing is we are not supposed to forget that we are going to use the prompts. The messages, the range check is supposed to be there, and since it's a 2D array means we need nested loop. For requirement 2, calculate, round to 1 decimal place and store average temperatures and calculation of the weekly average temperature also. Again, remember that we should not forget that the round function is supposed to be used to round it off. Okay, it means proper totaling needed, definitely for average, we always need totaling. So the right structure is being used, the right position, where should they be mentioned, and whether we have used totaling properly, we have rounded all the values properly, yes or no. Requirement 3, convert all average temperatures to Fahrenheit to 1 decimal place and output the average temperatures in both Celsius and Fahrenheit. Output again with appropriate messages. Again, you can see what is needed: proper rounding off, proper conversion. And once you are done with that, you are using the right output statements with the right prompts to display the messages. Okay, clear? Now, this is now our work. Fine. You can see, just for the purpose of simplicity, what have we done? Again, we were prompted, we were told not to declare the arrays. That's why we have just kept it minimal to only use the identifiers that we need. And you can see, first thing is we have used a few variables, and you can see for yourself that the name itself is depicting their nature. For example, you can see the first one is by the name week. What is it meant for? Fine. Yes, you can see the variables that are being declared are still containing the right meanings. As you can see here, the variables are week for some purpose, like the purpose is mentioned. Week is holding the week values, which are going to be from 1 to 7. Then you can see it's the day that is going to be from 1 till 24. We have to take the day readings. Then C temp, which is going to be take the temperature for inside the loop. Then FH temp for converting it to Fahrenheit. Total day temp, as the name implies itself, it's going to hold the total day temperature. Then total week temp, which is again of real data type, and declare average week temp. So here you can see total day temp, total week temp, and average week temp. These are going to be used definitely for totaling as well as average calculation, and we are using FH temp for converting it to Fahrenheit. Up to you. You can use directly also, but let's see. Very first task that was needed was I was supposed to populate an initial population of days array. So that is very simply done. What have we done? Days is the name of the array. Days of 1 equals to Sunday. Similarly, days of 2 arrow Monday, days of 3 arrow Tuesday, days of 4 arrow Wednesday, days of 5 arrow the assignment operator Thursday, days of 6 that is going to be Friday, and days of 7 will be Saturday. Any issues? Simple concept that we have populated the array means, and again caution, we can see for ourselves that since we were told that 4th position is holding Wednesday, That's why from here we actually started our work. That Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday means that we knew that third position will be for Tuesday, second position will be for Monday, and first position will be for Sunday. Okay. Yes, that's what, again, very important. Yeah, that is also supposed to be taken into account whenever we are working with our populating the array. Any issues? Now, first stage of populating the array is now over. Now we are starting the process of inputting the temperatures. And remember, we were supposed to validate. Fine. By the way, again, we can recall validation. We have learned that we can apply the validation of the range check by, can I use for that? Yes, not exactly. That is why we have used here. But before that, you can see for yourself. What have we done? We have used the first nested loop, the for loop. And here you can see it's for week equals to 1 to 7 because we have the weekdays are basically from 1 to 7. It's here ending. And then we have the day readings that are taken in this manner. Day equals to 1 to 24. 24 readings. And the week is going to start from 1 and go on till 7. Issues? First video of the week means it's Sunday. So definitely the first reading to be taken for Sunday, the second reading to be taken for Sunday, the third reading. In this manner, what we have to do is we have written for here, we have written next here, again a suggestion. You write down for here, you write down next here, so that with pencil, definitely, so that you are not making a mistake like you may forget it. So that is why again a suggestion that you write down next here so that you are not going to make any mistake in forgetting it. Then for day equals to 1 to 24 and you wrote next here. Any issues? Okay. Now, we are performing the validation of temperatures by using repeat. Very simple thing. What are we doing? We are saying repeat until input taken, until input is taken in the variable ctemp as we talked about here. Ctemp was a variable here. So we have used this variable here. And until ctemp is greater than or equals to minus 20.0 and ctemp is less than or equal to 50.0. So you can see this was the range given to me and I have applied it with the help of until, repeat until. Input taken, checked. If it is not within the range, then re-input. If it is within the range, then move down. Any issues? Now, first time, the value of week is 1 and the value of day is 1. Okay? It moves here. It takes the first input, checks. It's correct, perfect, so that the first reading will be stored in the array of readings on location week, comma day, which you can see. Week is basically right now 1 and day is also 1, means 1, comma 1. So if whichever temperature is being taken will be stored in this location, like assume whichever, maybe it was maybe 20. So this 20 will be stored in this location. Are you clear? Are you getting it? Yes or no? This will be the location to store the first reading in case we have entered the right value, because we were told, we looked at the value and we have written the right temperature here. Understood? Now, just see for yourself, why have we initialized total day temp equals to 0 here? Why? Initialize, very important. You can see that we have initialized total day temp here for the reason that we need to ensure, like for example, first time, the value of total day temp is a 0. Fine, perfect. Day 1 and week 1 and day 1, fine. The first reading taken, it moves up, it takes the second reading, adds up, takes the third reading. In this manner, all the 24 readings for the day of Sunday are taken, fine, and stored also. So if the day is over and we are starting the second day, means Monday. So if we have not initialized this total day temp, then what may go wrong? Getting it? What may go wrong is definitely the total day temp is going to hold the total daily temperature for Sunday. So it will not start from the beginning. It will start from the previous value is already stored. That's going to be a disaster. It means if we have forgotten to initialize it here properly, then it may result in the last day's temperature to be of a furnace, God forbid. That's why remember, initializing of this variable here is very essential. Any issues? And you can see nested loop, we are taking input of the temperatures inside the nested loop. So okay, now once the input is taken, stored in the respective location for that particular day and the hour, then we are doing what? We are taking the total day temp. Total day temp equals to total day temp plus round of C temp comma 1. So we can simply store it in this manner also. Very simple. We have taken the input. We are going to convert it using round function to one decimal place, and we can store it here in the variable total temp, total day temp. Understood? Now the value has changed for next day. Now day is now holding 2, isn't it? Okay. Now day means day is now holding the second value. So what will happen now? Yes, what do you think will happen here? The value of day is now 2. The value of week is the same. 1. First, this is my first day of the week. 1, 1, first reading taken. Now it's the turn of the second reading taken. It will be again checked. Is it within the range? Yes, moves here. Now the readings array, week, day. Week, day means 1, 2 will now hold the new temperature reading, whichever, like maybe it was 22. So now the second value will be stored in my second location. In this manner, where will be stored? It will be stored in 1, 2. Fine. First row, second column, or you can say first day of the week and second reading. And then again, it will be added to the total day temp in the same manner as we have learned. Total equals total plus temp. Just remember, we have been doing this practice quite often. So here also the same total day temp, arrow, total day temp, plus round of C temp comma 1. Understood? In this manner, second reading taken, third reading taken. In this manner, all the 24 readings for day 1, Sunday, will be taken, checked, and stored in their respective locations. We are done with the first day. Any issues? Like first day of the week, exactly. Thank you for correction, Ali. It's here I meant first day of the week, that was Sunday. All 24 readings taken, checked, and stored in their respective locations. Any issues? Any questions? No? That's great. Now, we are done with the first day, Sunday. Now it's turn for the next day, Monday. It means that what will happen now, the value of week will no more be 1, like once the, average temperature for the day, this is very, very important. Average temperature was my array. So now since all the readings are being taken and stored, it means now we are in a position to find out the average temperature. And what will we do? Since there are 24 readings, that's why just very simple. Since average temp is for week 1, means first location. That's why what are we doing is in this average temp, first location, if we have to, like already addition is being done, held in total day temp. So you can see total day temp divided by 24, comma 1. Now this is very important. Now you can see first thing is total day temp divided by 24. Perfect. Any issues? And then we are performing the round operation also using the round function. Whatever the day temp was divided by 24 may result in a real value. So we are going to convert it into a 1 decimal place value as well as required. And this value will be stored in my average temp. Any issues? Any questions? Okay, that's wonderful. Now moving on to now it's the turn of the second day, second of the week. Now it's your Monday's readings. Again for Monday, the readings will be taken from 1 till 24. All the 24 readings will be taken one by one, checked. Now readings array will be storing it on 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3 till 2, 24. Any issues? All readings for the day of Monday will be taken and stored in their respective locations. Again, the same process of total day temp. And this is where you can see total day temp, if it was not initialized, then that would have been a big disaster. That's why do not forget to put it here. Okay. Now, total day temp will be again computed repeatedly. And then once the loop is now set, then the inner loop for second day is over, it will be calculating the average temperature for the second day, again applying the same principle of round, and then the total day temp 124 round function is applied, and it will be rounded to 1 decimal place. And then it will be stored on the location for second day of the week. Any issues? Any questions? So in this manner, all the readings from day 1 till day 7 will be taken and stored in their respective locations. Issues? Okay. Simple now. See, just pay attention to the minor thing that we have discussed earlier. Again, a very nice thing that Ahmed had pinpointed, and Ali also wrote in the chat that we have discussed something similar to this in our regular classes. So this is just the only change is now they have used an array here. No worries, we know the material. Okay, we are done with all the readings being taken, and now it's the turn to calculate the average temperature for the week. Again, here you can see the use of total week temp, and we are initializing with a 0. Remember, we have to initialize, and total week temp equals to total week temp plus average temp. And this is now the use of my this array average temp, and it's going to work from 1 to 7 because there are 7 locations. The readings are taken one by one, stored, but whichever readings are stored, they are calculated, they are computed. And once we are done with this, after 7 iterations, using for loop again, see the use of for loop here, we have calculated the average week temp by again using round total week temp divided by 7, 1. It's exactly like since you have practiced mashallah so much, that's why you can see that we can apply it directly rather than using another variable, storing it there and then rounding it off. You can do it this way also. That's perfectly okay. Okay, any issues? Okay, now we are done with the storage and like input and storage of the values. We are done with the calculation of the average temperature for the week, average temperature for the day. So now is the last thing, and that is your output. And what was the output needing? It was needing me to output in Celsius as well as Fahrenheit. I think you remember, since the values stored are already in Celsius, so what we needed was just the temperature reading to be converted from Celsius to Fahrenheit. And you can see 1 to 7, all the readings are supposed to be handled from here to here. And here you can see we have used the formula from here, degree centigrade that is present in my average temp of the, like average temp is now holding the Celsius temperature values. So we can display them directly, perfect. But for that, what we need is we need to display the value for the Fahrenheit. So what have we done? We have just computed the calculation. Average temp week, the first location data taken, multiplied by 9 upon 5 plus 32. We have simply applied the formula and the result is held in FH temp. So we are simply using output statement to display the Celsius value directly, and because the Celsius value is already rounded off, that's why. So we have not used round function here. And once we are done with the Fahrenheit calculation, we are simply using round function once again to display the value in this manner. Any issues? Isn't it easy now? Week, when it's the first day of the week, handled, then second day of the week, again the same calculation being done, output is handled, and then we are done with the with all the values for week for the days of the week, starting from Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and lastly the Saturday. Saturday's readings will be displayed after being converted from centigrade to Fahrenheit. Any issues? Okay. Now we are done with the display of the average temperature for each day in Celsius and Fahrenheit. Now the last requirement was we had to display it for the average temperature for the week also. So what have we done? We have simply used output once again outside the loop to again a message, again the prompt exactly. Average temperature for the week in Celsius. And we have just simply taken this average week temperature, this variable that we had used there. We have simply taken the same variable here, and we are done with the first phase. Now, once I was done with the first phase, then what am I doing is I'm simply converting this value to Fahrenheit by using the same formula as we have learned. And what are we doing is simply round off also in the same manner. And but before that, no worries at all. Just pay attention to this. Average week temp is holding my temperature. Multiply by 9 upon 5 plus 32. Any issues? Okay. Then we have simply used the round function also, so that it is going to round off this value after being computed and to the one decimal place. Any issues, any questions, anything that is not clear? Okay, why haven't we declared the arrays? Exactly, because we were told that arrays are already there. That's why we haven't declared the arrays. Are we done? Now, one more thing is, if you have not watched the other scenario-based questions or other videos, the links for the playlist are mentioned here. So you can go through those lists. That will benefit you a lot in comprehending the concepts of arrays, the concepts of loops, the concept of condition checking. So that will be of great help in order to improve your programming skills, and that will benefit you a lot. Are we all done? Are we all able to comprehend any issues, any questions that are unanswered? Okay, that's great, wonderful. Jazakallah khairan kasida for being a part of the learning journey. If you have liked my video, if you have liked my explanation, then subscribe the channel. Do not forget to click on the bell icon. Do not forget to keep on watching the videos that are uploaded quite often on the channel. Share with your friends and family so that they all are going to benefit from it. They all are going to learn one thing or the other. Remember me in your prayers. Take very good care of yourselves, your family, and everyone. You are definitely in my prayers. Allah Hafiz. And do not forget to join the community so that you are getting the updates as soon as they are and any videos are uploaded. Okay. Allah Hafiz once again.